The views and opinions expressed on Live at the Barbershop are entirely those of the host, guest, and caller and do not reflect the opinions of Live at the Barbershop or its staff. Viewers' discretion is advised. The following podcast is intended for mature audiences only and contains adult contents, graphic language, strong sexual content, and a whole lot of shit talking. So in other words, get your kids out the room.
Live at the Barbershop with your hosts, Misha J, Aaliyah, Black Republican, and those two crazy Caribbean guys from the Q&N show, Norris and Q. And now, the man of the hour, Mr. HNIC, Mr. Sleep When You're Dead, Hustle Now, the magnificent.
Yo, son. What's up with all that?
I was just trying to amp it up, you know, like.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, all right, I'm with that.
John, live at the Barbershop Podcast.
Hello. Hey, sorry, once again, I gotta apologize. We had a little technical difficulty, so we're running a little bit late on things here today. It's just one of those days. What can I say? Today is it's a very interesting Friday. Q is not here today. I got Madness and Little Man. And there's a reason why I have Little Man in here with me, because some of the stuff today pertains to the younger generation coming up behind us, and for us as parents, uncles, aunts, neighbors. Doesn't even have to be that you're related, just neighbors, community. We need to pay close attention to a lot of things that are happening around us, and know that climate change is not the only thing changing out here. It's getting hotter every single day out here. In the beginning, there were jokes about climate change. Taking a break? There were jokes about climate change, and then now I'm hearing everyone now at my job and different places, oh, it's hot. You know, and at one point they said that was fake news. That was fake news. There's no such thing as climate change. We don't need any changes. We're good the way we are. And now we're finding out that things, there's need for change.
It's hot out here.
It's hot out here in more ways than one. And you ready, little man? All right, let's get it started. So today's topic kind of hits because there's a few different things. So we have a few different things on the table, and unfortunately, our community are going to feel the end results of this thing if we don't start to make some sort of change for the better. So a few things on the table. One, everyone has seen this in the news. A young lady from Alabama, Carlee Russell. So we're going to touch on that situation. We're going to touch on this disturbing situation of being from Florida at this point now, which Florida at one point, I remember when I was growing up, Florida was the it factor as far as Miami Vice. Okay. Being the cool, Florida was a cool spot. The beaches, the girls, and now it's like,
whatever.
Do you really want to be here at this point? You understand? Because at this point now, with everything they're trying to implement in the school system, and the school system is just a start, because with a young mind like his, it's Play-Doh. You can mold it any way you want to mold it. You could do anything you want to do with it. You could turn them into anything you want to turn them into. And this is what they're trying to do at this point. The third topic is a little different. It's on, but it's off. It's a situation where it comes to marriage, and when it comes to, I saw a clip with a young man, well, a couple men that were actually at the altar, and when the females were asked to love and obey,
What?
the pause came out. I could do everything else but that.
Yeah.
So again, in our community, and that's why it may seem like it's off, but it's actually on, because all these three things affect us in many different ways, and not for the good. Not for the good.
You still got black brothers out here in the U.S. trying to get married?
So I guess since you're touching that part, that's what we're starting off with. So let's start it off.
Oh,
I'm your host for the night. My name is John. This is my man Madness sitting in for Q. Madness is a part of the crew. You know how we do.
It's all love, baby.
All right.
It's all love.
Sitting next to Madness is my little man. What's up? All right, you good? All right, so I'm gonna have questions for you, so make sure you're ready for this, okay? All right. So here we go now. Let's start off with that then. Since marriage is the thing now where you know what? I don't think they can see little man a little bit. It's over just a tad bit.
Let's see, we switch it up.
So little man, yeah. There you go. That's good right there. You good, little man? Yeah. All right, we're gonna get you in the topic. And see, and here's my thing. Fundamentally, I tell people all the time, include the young ones.
Mm-hmm.
Educate them. This goes for the parents. Do not wait for the school systems. Do not wait for outsiders. You educate your kids on what Black history is really all about.
Big facts.
You read books to them and things like that. Put the iPhones down. Put the tablets down. Start reading books.
Go back all that basics. Yeah,
all that stuff is I'm not saying to exclude it, but pause on it a little bit.
What you got going on, buddy? He got tunes in his head.
I told him before, I said, listen, this is gonna be a long thing. Are you ready for this? He said, yes, I'm ready for this. Okay, so let's get into the situation where the man's at the altar.
Okay, now which one did you see? You saw there's a few of them going
There's
around.
A few of them.
Right,
There's a few of them. All right, so give your viewpoint.
I saw a black couple where the priest
right.
or the pastor,
right.
I guess you would say the pastor was going through the vows. And when he got to that, to love, honor, and obey, it's like, what? What did he say? Obey. We didn't discuss obey in counseling or something like that, right? That's the one you saw? Like, and I mean, and it was rolling in the audience. I'm like, oh man, he's getting annoyed. For sure. For sure, this thing's gonna last a hot 6 months, and that's it. If he goes one day over the 6 months, he's gonna be paying for a divorce, player. Run.
But you gotta ask yourself the $1 million question. Now, TikTok, IG, all these platforms, why are we only seeing one narrative all the time? And I want to make something clear. Let me make something clear real quick. And it's for all our families out there and followers.
Yeah.
This show is not a bashment show. And when I say a bashment, two different words for bashment. Bashment is a dance with DJs and stuff. It's not that, and it's not a female bashment either. This is to educate people on both sides of the table, male and female, on what is going on out there and in our community. I need to start at home first before I can enter out. You understand? So when I bring these points up about things, it's not strictly to just keep harping on the females and saying this and saying that, but you have to understand the agenda. The female is the nucleus, okay? Although the man is the head of the household, trust and believe, the female is the nucleus. And once you get that person to join to any agenda you have, it disrupts the ecosystem from there on in, aka the black family at the end of the day. Because once she joins on, it's over for you. That means no reproductive. That means family. Most, on average, household wise, the female deals with the finances, the bills, the kids, the groceries. You understand?
Unfortunately, it's looking like everything now.
Everything.
I mean,
at the end of the day, a responsible party. More the city girls type is not really going to get into all that. But the old school or the responsible types, they're mainly dealing with that. And I can tell you right now, from having friends, I've seen it.
Okay.
I now do things different. I make sure I involve myself, or I make sure I deal with majority of these things because I need to know.
Yeah. This way you stay in the loop as far as your bills. And
I need to know these passwords. I need to know where this money's going, why this money's going out here, why is this bill so high, blah, blah, blah. A lot of men out there nowadays don't have a clue on what's going on in their household.
Those men need to be by themselves, man. You know, and it's a catch-22 because you destroy the black family like that.
They just come in, say, okay, the paycheck's in the bank, do whatever you got to do, and that's it.
Yeah.
So now, if you take that individual that is controlling the household portion of things, and you brainwash that individual and tell them you don't need that individual no more, if he's not contributing to things, if he's not giving you this, if he's not doing this, you don't need him. What do you think is going to happen?
They're definitely not going to obey him.
All right.
That's for sure.
So at the end of the day now, you can't say that we're being biased or something.
Oh, no.
It's just facts. It's just facts at the end of the day. This is just facts we're talking about. So if every day I look on TikTok and I'm seeing certain things going, and I'm going to tell you why I keep focusing on the TikTok portion of things, because everything that's on the table tonight falls back on all these platforms and why we're not using these platforms correctly to make changes.
Okay.
We're using them for all the wrong reasons. We're using them for the narcissistic portions of our life nowadays, where we just want somebody to call our name. We just want those numbers. We just want the likes. We just want somebody to like us. Years ago, we didn't even know what likes meant.
Yeah.
We knew if someone likes
me,
that's a male to a female, or maybe someone who's their best friend or something like that. Not thousands and millions. Everyone gets off on the fact that I have 2.5 million followers and all this other stuff. Yeah. But what are you doing with it? Like right now, and again, I hate to bring up these people's name, but there's a lot of rappers, and not even well-known rappers, lower-end rappers that have 2-point-something million followers. But then you have subject matters that are out there that needs focus
to be addressed. Yeah,
and you're not doing nothing with those 2.5, 2.3 million people. And then you have platforms like ours that have less numbers, but we're doing much more in the community to try and make changes.
At least attempting to, educate, give people an opportunity to elevate, upgrade their lives, man.
But the gatekeepers want that. The gatekeepers want that. When you look at certain songs and certain things out there, you got to ask yourself, we came to that? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm an artist. I used to be an artist on both sides of the table in entertainment. So I understand the business portion and I understand the artistic portion. And I believe that, okay, everyone has a voice or a right to say something.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, certain things that we're hearing and seeing, you got to ask yourself, what is the end result for this?
Yeah.
What is the end result for this? Like when Bob Marley started and he had a movement that he probably didn't even know he had a movement. He just knew he had something to say and it turned into something. Because remember, talking about a black Jamaican artist on an island that had no promotion, had no social media, had none of these things. You had to get on an airplane and fly somewhere to promote yourself.
Yeah.
This turns into a worldwide phenomenon. to where blacks, white, Indian, Chinese, everybody now is singing redemption song, one love, and all these things. Probably don't even understand what it's really saying or what it's about, but they felt the energy from it. You understand? Felt the energy. So chill, what up? You know, felt the energy from it. So at that point now, you knew that this is making change.
Yeah.
When you have so much, and listen, I ain't taking nothing from these young kids, but when you got somebody like Sexy Red and Sukiyana and all these people right now, I'm not even, no disrespect to none of them. But at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself at the end of the day also, what is the end result?
What's the point of it all?
Because we as artists, you still have to have an end result. Tupac said it before. You need to hold an artist accountable for their words. You need to hold an artist accountable. They can't just come out here and say whatever. You got all these people here. Look, you got the city girls putting all this out there. And then they saying straight up, we spoke on it last week. She won't even allow her own daughter to listen to her music. So what is that saying for the ones that are out there gung-ho to say, this is what message. This is what I want to be. I strive to be a city girl. But yet still the city girls themselves will not allow their young ones to listen to the rhetoric that they're putting out in the air.
Bing bang.
Tell me now.
Yeah.
So moving back to what we started on, the love and obey portion of things. That has, for some reason now, has been an issue in our community with the fact that you have to look at everything on a whole, the domino effect. Now, we can go into multiple things from government assistance, because all these things add up.
They all tie into.
They all tie into the system.
Not so much now, but initially.
But they all tie in because you know why?
The system had it in place where if the black man was in the house, then the woman wasn't going to be eligible for certain
because the
funds,
gatekeeper,
different things. Yeah,
the gatekeeper mapped it out way in advance,
long time ago. Yeah,
he's been fertile in the seeds for years, and now it's starting to sprout little by little. You understand? And that's the thing with it. So now when you females are gung-ho on getting married, and I have a lot of female friends and they're always talking about this, and I keep asking them, well, why are you so anxious on getting married? Oh, I'm getting older, I'm getting this, I'm getting that. And I said, but you do know that when you get married, that's when the job actually begins. That the whole little day that you have with the dress and the cake and the people dancing, that's not the reality portion.
Yeah,
that's what they've been feeding you since you've been a child with Cinderella and all these different cartoons and stuff.
But see, these realities have shifted now, man.
Oh yeah,
that dress, that little party, that show that they put on, that is it. Most of the time, that's where it ends, right there. You have this one really expensive moment, and then it's downhill from there.
And that's it after that.
You know?
Because I keep telling them, the reality portion of it is when it comes time to. One, if you don't have kids, let's say you had kids prior to getting married or something, you still got to deal with that. You got to deal with the household. You got to deal with the cooking. You got to deal with, I ain't got to do. I said, well, I don't have a problem. If you don't have a problem with going to pressure wash the roof or cutting the grass, we'll switch. You know what I mean? I think most men, all I got to do is just sit down in the kitchen and cook it. Hey, cool. Hey, you go paint the house or whatever. Not a problem. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
That's just not going to happen.
So I don't like the idea of gender roles, but as a man, there are certain things that I'm going to do, and I'm not changing that because my woman wants to do it. You can help.
Right.
I'm all for you helping. If you want to assist me in pressure washing the roof, we can do that. But no.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to sit back, watch her pressure wash the roof while I'm sitting on the couch lounging. We're not doing that.
Right.
You know, but you know, that's another narrative that we probably need to start pushing. A lot of these men have grown complacent. They're okay with swapping roles, swapping genders. I'll lay back and chill while the missus goes and does all the hard labor. Like, nah, player, this whole message is wrong.
I had a guy before, he said he's stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
Stay-at-home dad. I was like, listen, Oh, word, that's what it is now. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna stay.
Check.
I'm a stay-at-home dad.
You heard the one with he's a stay-at-home dad but has 3 wives?
No, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah.
How's that working out, man?
Now that's called a pimp.
He's staying home, all 3 of them going out to work.
I don't know. With today's society, he might be the wife. He has 3 husbands, you know.
What letter?
All in how you're viewing it.
Depend on what letter his name start with.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I gotta go look that one back.
Depends on what name his letter start with. A lot of them that start with that Q and stuff like that, they end up like that.
Q, God.
No.
Oh,
Not nothing against Q. No, I'm just saying. You know. But I think right now, like you said, I think moving forward with the divorce rate percentage of where it's at right now, especially in our community, I think everyone has to think it through thoroughly and understand that one, I'm gonna tell you my personal thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay.
Because people say, well, I need to know that I can get certain benefits and I can get this and I can get that. But what are you really benefiting from? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. All right, the insurance portion?
For the wife?
Yeah.
Crazy, man. The woman is going to benefit off everything, man. First and foremost, the ring. Not to mention the party that she gets with the whole I do line. You know, the little scripted I do's. Yeah. Oh, yes. It's a come up, man. For sure. Right? That's just those 2. That dress, we never see a dime of that dress. You ain't getting that back, player. That's gone. You really ain't, what you going to do with it? You know what I'm saying? The insurance, definitely. Most of them, they're going to go and get alimony. And this thing is over with. Depending on what state you're in. Yeah, you know, that's still a little tricky.
Oh, there's a wrap.
Yeah. That's why I say depending on the state. Because some states are still honoring it.
In New York. Yeah.
You know, and then most of these women, they're not idiots.
Right.
The men that sign on to them, that's a whole nother story.
Trust they're not.
You know, they're not idiots. They sign on to idiots, but they're not the idiot. They have this thing all mapped out. Yeah, I sign on to this thing. I do 2-3 years, collect the bag at the end of it. Then I'll drag his name through the mud, tell everybody that he's nothing, and you know, I'll be married again in a year.
Right. You want something to say?
You married anybody right now, buddy? How many girlfriends you got, man?
Only one.
Only one. All right. 1 and 2? It depends on what day of the week it is.
My mommy and my sister.
No.
See.
They can't be your girlfriend now, okay?
And I only have the uncle.
So that's it?
That's it.
All right.
So.
And I only have
Okay. So the thing with it
Bing
now
bong.
is to understand that the responsibility of controlling I see I cook, clean, press, wash. If you want to go, you can go. I'm not Billy. Yeah. I don't know who that is, but yeah. But see, it's not so much that you cook, press, wash, and do everything by yourself. If you want to go, you can go ahead, Billy. It's not so much as that. But why is it now that we're not seeing a narrative of them promoting that we work as a team, as a group? Why is it me against you, you against me only? Why is it men against female? Men are this, females are that. Why isn't it we're seeing more narratives on these social media platforms that's showing the positive family? I'm pretty sure there are many families out there that are working with each other through thick and thin, that started from nothing and ended up at something. You understand what I'm saying? So why are we not seeing those? You understand? Why are we not seeing those? There's a reason why you're not seeing those. That's just like why we don't have positive rap anymore. That's just the same reason why we don't have, and besides what they try to tarnish with the situation, that's why we don't have Cosby shows. That's why we don't have
Fresh Prince anymore. Yeah.
Certain black shows that show that there are good in the neighborhoods. That you can be somebody, that you can do something. Okay? Pops, come this way for me. You understand? there's things like that.
Yeah.
But we're not going to see that anymore. So now, I think from moving forward with the marriage portion of things, and that goes for both sides. Unfortunately, for females, you just have to understand right now, men are what they call are very woke at this point. We're very woke at this point.
I don't know
But not all,
woke,
not all, but meaning that men have an understanding now of what there is to lose. You don't believe a lot of them do?
These
They
guys
still
are
jumping in?
sleeping, man. Yeah, they still jumping in.
They still blind.
They still sleeping?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know. I'm out here
and the thing is
educating them.
this, right? I support love. I support relations. Sign on to somebody. You find that one out there, go ahead and do it. But where we are right now, the brothers that's awoke, the ones that are up out here, you're not signing on to that garbage. That obey.
Oh, shit.
She said, obey. We didn't discuss that in counseling. Like, what? Like, that's it. Don't cut the cake. Don't bring it out. Take it back. Take it back. Yeah, no, nah.
So that's
Whoa,
what
a lot of us are sleeping behind the wheel, man.
So that's what the husband should have done. All right, Bob.
Well, that's my take on it. I definitely would have been walking out of there. You know, hey, you know what? I apologize, everybody, for coming. This clearly is not that moment for me. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one.
I think what it is for a lot of them, they feel like, hey, they put in all that time, money, and everything.
Oh,
They're not gonna take the opportunity of cutting that.
Dog, you will obey your boss at work and not the person who set up this whole thing. Like, come on, man.
Perfect point.
You will drag your husband in the streets, all through the streets, but you're not gonna drag your manager.
Perfect point.
Come on, man.
Perfect point.
Obey? You obey every day at work. What you talking about, obey? How is that an issue? Nah, man.
So my thing
I got brothers around me right now signed on to marriages and these committed relationships, and they're getting drugged through the ringer. Most of them is signed on and staying on for that same thing, complacency. They're not ready to let go. They're afraid of what they're gonna lose, so they just stay locked in.
And let me point that out. That goes for both men and females. Both men and females. At the end of the day. So the next topic right now is it's an unfortunate one, but it's one that we've unfortunately seen. And for me, being the older statesman, I've seen it in my days. That you know when you, as a black person, and I know everyone out there has done the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, when you sit in front of the TV and they say, like I remember in DC, they had a serial shooter. And everyone's like, yo, please don't let it be a black man. Please don't, you know.
That's crazy.
You know?
Yeah, but the news yeah.
Or
like that now.
Or somebody got kidnapped, or you hear about a random shooting and so you're like, please don't let it be a black man. You know, you hear the stats of what happened. You hear what happened. And nowadays, unfortunately, when they say it don't fit the profile, it's not as MO. You know, the MO for the typical white male in certain things, and when you hear that this happened, mass shooting, you're like, yo, white dude right there. But nowadays, things is changing. Things are changing. So now, moving forward, we move into Alabama.
Okay.
Just recently, there's a young lady, and I'm sure everyone has heard the name. Some people probably got it confused when they heard Carlee.
Yeah.
Carlee Red or something like that. It's about to pop. They didn't realize it's Carlee Russell.
Oh, shit.
25-year-old female from Alabama. Recently did a Jussie Smollett situation that to me still doesn't even make sense to this day. I'm waiting on hearing the final word on what really happened.
For
now,
Smollett or for her? For Carlee. Because I'm like,
Smollett. I get the Dave Chappelle?
Oh yeah, I think, yeah. Oh, he said juicy.
Smollett,
No, but no. Which one is it that you want to hear the verdict on? Like, what really happened?
Well, no, on
This should be entertaining.
Russell. You know what I'm saying? Because with him, I still don't even think we probably got the last word on everything. You understand? We probably don't have the last word on everything.
Yeah.
Because he's still saying, I'm innocent. We are still saying, come on, man.
Innocent ain't one of them, yeah.
You understand? But
oh man,
it puts that that tarnish on everything we've been trying to polish up. You understand what I'm saying?
See, I look at the sister and in my mind it's like, all right, I forgot all about him.
Well, no one's remembered about him, but I'm just saying, here comes another one.
Mm-hmm.
Because prior to them, there was a young lady in New York years back, about 87. And a couple of New Yorkers out there should remember this one, but that was the first one for me that was like, well, you heard it? You were like, damn, can't believe that. But then when it came out that probably lying, you're like, oh rigged. Man. You know, like you went to work like, yo, man. You know, like
this. Yeah.
Like I remember when I first saw Rosewood, I went to work the next day, like so my wife was, hey man, don't talk to me, man. You know, because and then you gotta remember, like, oh, this is not really you.
Yeah.
But Tawana Brawley was a name that came in New York because this was our first glimpse of something of that magnitude. The young lady said she was raped, abducted, had feces written on her chest that had the N-word written on her from whites. And, you know, everyone was in arms like, yo, we got to do something about this.
Yeah.
Al Sharpton got involved. I think it's Alton Maddox, something like that was his name back in the day. Some lawyers and stuff like that, civil rights lawyers and stuff like that got involved. They put themselves out there.
Yeah.
Come to find out, it was like, it wasn't so. Don't even know to this day what really happened because like, nothing really said.
How do you come up with these ideas, dog? Like,
exactly.
How your mind went there?
Exactly.
You excite a riot to gain what exactly? Who you mad with?
So now moving forward to Miss Russell.
Yeah.
Has a nice job. I'm assuming she works at a spa. Has a nice car. I'm assuming got a Mercedes. Don't know what life is in Hoover, Alabama, but at the end of the day, okay, I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah. You make a phone call stating that you saw a baby on the side of the highway. Okay, but I think where you spoiled the plan is you said it was a white baby. You understand what I'm saying? So now, for a black lady to say saw a white baby, you already got that. Yeah, we got to get out there ASAP. They say they tracked her 600 yards. That's a lot of square footage. Okay.
No.
I don't think she thought this out thoroughly.
She damn sure didn't think it out.
People forget. If you don't watch Law and Order and all these little 48 hours and all these different shows, yo, your cell phone moves with you. It pings off of towers. You go in anywhere where they have surveillance cameras, it's going to capture you. You make a purchase. All these things. Okay? So she threw little evidences down here and there to say that I was abducted from here. Left the car, cell phone, wig. And you know, black females out there saying, wigs? Yo, some of us may joke about it. Some of them are taking it serious. Like, that was the first clue. Like, come on. The wig, you're not leaving that there. But
that ain't it, y'all.
She had to make it look more like it's an abduction. The problem with this is not to make joke of it, because it's a serious situation on all levels. But it's the fact that, one, do I put you in the category to say you have a mental illness, or are you taking advantage of that lane off? Do I put you in the category of saying, for all the females that are actually being abducted and having to deal with trafficking, human trafficking, that's a serious situation and heavy out here in South Florida. I don't know how it is in Alabama, but at the end of the day, for those that are out there, different people's loved ones that are actually being taken, they have footage of females walking on the street, broad daylight, and getting thrown in the back of vans.
Yeah.
And then when you put something like this out there, crying wolf, we don't know now, when we do need to back you, is this another hoax? Is this another Jesse situation? Is this another Tawana situation?
Mm-hmm.
Or do we really know that this is a serious situation going on? On the flip side of that, it's the authorities, the white authorities that are out there that are already have their pre-notions on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking to say that, oh, that one there, that's probably another one like the last one.
Yeah. Lock up.
So we don't really take it serious that black females and kids are being abducted on a daily.
And see, all I think is distractions, man. Like, what else was going on? This is just how my mind works. It's always distraction. That Titanic was a distraction, you know? We got fake meat out here now. You know, it's like, it's one thing after another, man. So when I see these little things pop up, I'm like, man, I don't know what to believe anymore, dog.
And that's the problem, because here it is now. You have this situation where you have individuals now that are saying she needs to be locked up.
Mm-hmm.
But then now, if we play an equal playing field, there are other individuals that are out here that are making even more serious offenses of the law
Mm-hmm.
that are not doing any time. Then you have, on the flip side, many of whites that have called wolf on blacks and brown people. Oh, I remember there was a mother that drowned her kids.
Yeah.
Black man took him, did that. There's others, Mexicans did this and took me. That. What became of it?
You would never hear about it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, do we put this young lady in jail, throw away the key? Or maybe, we don't even know the end results of why she did what she did. Some people had theory that, I heard one, which was funny, but at the same time, it could make sense. That someone said, she probably got a white boyfriend, and her parents said he's not gonna
They didn't approve.
go with it. She probably was dealing with the white boyfriend and had to have a reason to say why she's on that side of town or something. Could be.
Mm-hmm.
People have done stupid things like that and not thought it out. Now, does she need to be held accountable? Yeah.
Definitely. Absolutely. What's up, buddy?
You're back?
Absolutely.
You're back.
What's up?
You know, but at the same time, do we throw away the keys on her?
I don't know about throwing away the key, right? The same way we need to better evaluate law enforcement. Some of these newfound criminals need to be evaluated, dog. For real. I'm not saying just medicate them right out the gate, but we need to do some serious research on these people, man.
Let's see what's up.
It's reoccurring.
Mm-hmm.
That Jesse Smollett, they should have done something with that for sure.
I don't even know where I got Smollett for.
Yeah, Smollett.
Smollett.
I think that's the way it's spelled though. Smollett. That's how it's spelled out.
Smollett?
It's Smollett.
Yeah, it could be Smollett. I don't know where I got
all I
Smollett.
know is Journey.
I keep getting Smollett.
That one name, I remember that name. I do decide to say I do again. I need Journey. Yeah.
You know, but again with him, same thing. Once you heard it, I think every one of us, you want to support it, but you know deep down,
she needs more than therapy.
Yeah,
she needs some more than therapy. You know, my
hey,
natural response is somebody need to, you know.
So chill. Let's talk on that real quick. What do you do as a parent for a child like that now? After you put it out there that, yo, my daughter's been abducted, you know, this and that. And someone made a point about something real quick.
Yeah.
They spoke about the demeanor and how the mother was moving and how the father was moving.
Oh.
They said the mother was gung-ho, right? The father was just sitting back like,
wait till these cameras go off.
You know, like, yo, the father
the
just
police
sit
don't
there.
need to go too far.
They said
I'm
the father
catching the charge
is in the
tonight.
cut. Like, he just want to know that I'm just here to let y'all know, you know, don't find me for all this, you know,
man.
because he probably know deep down, yo,
this is an act.
What the hell is this girl doing right now to this family? The mother now is having blinders on.
These are cries for attention, man. You know, these things need to be addressed. Like just throwing them in jail, that don't fix the problem.
Was she going out with somebody?
I don't know.
I'm hearing that she was going with somebody and they broke up, and that's when she started like.
Well, see, they have that narrative before about some lady that said that she been kidnapped because and actually she was cheating with her ex-boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? And to cover it up that she been cheating with the ex-boyfriend, she said she got abducted.
Yeah.
The boyfriend called the ex-boyfriend called Winter. He's like, hey man, I don't want no part of that. I'm letting you know right now. She was at my house for 2 weeks. You know, that's where she was. I didn't know nothing about it. So people have done some crazy things like that.
Yeah.
So it's not far-fetched. But at the end of the day, it's like, what can
we do about this?
What is the end result? What is your agenda? What are you going to fulfill? What is it going to change? That's what we need to know.
Yeah. And see, you know, naturally I want to fault the parents because it's like, you know, your kids, right? We can play crazy all day, but you know, little Timmy ain't got it all figured out. We need to go, like one of the commenters said, go and get him some therapy. Have somebody give a second, a third, a fourth opinion on this kid early. That's not what's happening, man. We overlook things because I'm preoccupied with work. I'm lost in Keisha or Crystal or whoever it is this week. Man,
from the household,
you tend to forget all about these shorties, man.
From the household, you could kind of take the father's viewpoint and the mother's viewpoint, and the father probably is like,
hands up.
I told you years ago.
Yeah, we should have got a check. You know,
mom is like, no, she's good. You know what I'm saying? All right, our last topic for tonight, definitely
the bread.
Very, very disturbing.
Get into the bread.
What bread?
The salary.
For who?
We're not doing salaries tonight.
Nah, we're not doing salaries.
Another day.
We jump on that. I had to cut that for a minute and go into something that is more disturbing than anything else, which is this new situation in our educational system that I need to choose the best word I can say for this governor that we have in South Florida. It's Florida, I should say South Florida. But the statement to say that slavery was somewhat of a benefit to blacks.
Oh man.
I don't even have words for that at the end of the day. And the thing again, why I say TikTok again, is because we're doing too much dancing out here and not focusing on the real deal Holyfield.
But you're free to do whatever you want to do with your body, man. You're free to express yourself however you want, man.
And that's what they want.
That's why slavery existed, so we could be, you know.
Now you can dance.
We can break out. Now we're free now.
Because to hear this in 2023, I'll tell you something, it does not surprise me because I've been talking this for years. From New York all the way down here. Do not put it past it. America itself would love nothing more than to go back into this whole slavery situation again. And trust and believe they're slowly putting these things in order.
Oh, you forcing women to obey, man. No, player. Nah, man.
Oh, shit.
Slavery isn't gonna work today.
Okay.
That what happened then ain't gonna work today.
Okay. You gotta understand
These
something.
women are off the chain now.
Understand something here.
Men will sign on it.
Understand something here. Understand something here. I ain't tell you.
I'm telling
that
you.
Most of the females are gonna be enslaved.
They're not going, dog.
They're
not going. Yeah.
Listen to me.
Okay.
Females ain't gotta be the one.
Obey. What?
The females, listen, so long as you did the agenda for me, you gotta pass. We got him. He the bull. He the alpha. We need shut him down. We need more Simville. So what I'm saying right now, do not put it past it. When they want to put it in the educational system now and mind you, they're starting from the young. When they remember the controversy that happened with the race theory situation
Okay.
and how they intertwine in the race theory.
Yeah.
That was out. People had it misconstrued that the younger generation are the ones that be taught. This was more for college students.
Mm-hmm.
Within the school system for the younger generations, and I don't know right now, I'm assuming from elementary up to high school, maybe. It's this whole thing of whitewashing the history of slavery is the agenda. To make it seem like
it was a good thing.
It was a good thing, or look what it created.
No.
You have black billionaires, you have thinkers. They fail to realize a lot of the inventions that make our life easier now, your refrigerators,
always
your light bulbs, all these narratives that they've been putting out, the Christopher Columbuses of the world, and all these different things was all a lie. And now that we understand and we're doing our own researches, we understand. Now they're afraid. Because now we're on an equal playing field. You're not going to play these games with me and think I'm just going to, no, it's not going to happen. That's why when you see these, what's the word I'm looking for? When you see these prophets that pop up every so often, you have the Malcolms, the Marcus, the Malcolm, the Martins, the Hueys. They slowly get rid of them.
Of course. Because they're trying to educate, uplift, motivate. That's a problem, man.
Because you think about it today, what would most of these guys, what would the look on their face be like when they're seeing certain things happening out here and we're TikToking?
They wouldn't survive out here now, man.
You know,
the suicide rate would have been at an all-time high, man. These leaders would have been offering themselves left and right. Like, I stood in front of millions for this.
All right. We had this conversation a couple episodes back when we were talking to Black Republicans season 2, and we made the reference to the fact that what would a lot of our leaders say today that they gave their life up, their family, their
come back
life
for a moment just to see the chaos that is going on right now.
And this is all we gave them. This is all we gave them. This is crazy. Whitewashing our
big fact, though, Chill.
Got to start educating your own. Exactly. Point being, do not wait for them to educate your kids. And I believe what Black and Browns should do, if you get the curriculum that your kids bring home and it's stating that they're starting to implement this now, tell your kids no.
Taking them out.
Taking them out.
Starting it from middle school.
We're going to homeschool it from now on. Or we're going to boycott this situation. Or whatever that particular period is, you walk out.
Boycott.
You walk out.
We're in 2023, man.
Because just to sit there and
educated on those types of things, man. Boycotting.
Man. It's crazy.
Who's gonna watch these kids, man? Take them out of the school. No. That sounds like obeying. We're not doing that.
Okay, so let's touch on a couple of things now. So the Board of Ed, they're basically saying that, okay, kind of want to
word it right.
I'm trying to word it in a graceful manner.
Okay.
Blacks in itself, and a lot of the things that happen, these massacres that have happened over the years, centuries, or not only by whites, but some violence were from blacks also, with blacks somewhat bringing it on themselves and blacks putting the violence out there as well. Now, hear what I'm saying? They're not saying blacks are defending themselves. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're not talking about today's time when you have permits, different things, and we're talking about times when you walking down the street is a threat. So now, excuse me, you're telling me that Rosewood in 1923, Atlanta riots in 1906,
Okay.
Washington, D.C. in 1919, and oh, excuse me.
Right now. Sounding like
Hey,
Q.
Q, I know.
Yeah.
Okoee. OCOEE. Okay, it's a
What?
part of Florida.
Okay.
OCOEE. OC. I guess it's how Okoee.
All right, stop it, play. You're butchering
I'm just saying.
man.
I'm just saying. Okay,
man.
in 1920,
Yeah.
and of course Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. All these things,
Mhm.
they're saying we somewhat brought this on ourselves.
Got a call.
I hope we got on the line.
Yo, caller, come in.
Yo.
Hello, live at the barbershop. You're on the air. What up?
Oh man, you're gonna have to try back, player. Try back.
Hey, call back if you're not getting through. Call back.
You hear us? You hear us?
All right.
One more time. Line one. What's up?
Yeah, no.
All right. So so now when you think about it now, you're saying, okay, you had a problem with race theory because you didn't want them to push an agenda on our kids. Because the queer teaching was intertwined into race theory. And that's another thing that has me puzzled. Why, of all things that needs to be intertwined into black theory, race theory, is that the one that has to be intertwined?
Yeah.
So you got to try and start to separate the BS in between the lines. So you go against that portion of things because the queer portion of things you don't want to be pushed on everyone. But at the same time, now you're pushing.
Yo, you hear us?
What? Yeah.
What up? You got some noise in the background. Oh, you could turn your TV down. I know you want to hear yourself, but you got a feedback.
Man.
Yeah, you now.
Yo.
Call the other number.
What's up?
You want me to call the other number back? Or what's up?
No. You good. Just turn the TV down or whatever you listening. Who we talking to?
Okay.
Hey, what up? Oh, fam, what's good?
What's good, man?
All right.
Yo.
Greetings to y'all.
What you want to touch on? You got a delay on your side. It's going in and out. All right, AP. Yeah, you here? You still here?
Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah. What's good?
Hello.
Yo, you can hear us?
I hear you. You hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead with your point.
Go ahead, AP.
And
No.
put them in office.
Yeah, you got a delay.
Yeah. You got a delay on your end. He calling from the regular lines?
I'm talking my cell phone.
Yeah, all right, go ahead. I can hear you now. Go ahead. Howie, what up, Howie G? All right, you keep going in and out. Give me a minute. I'm gonna hook this up. I'm gonna hit you up and get you on the line. All right. I'm gonna hit you up.
All right.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, you was about to make a point, man. Come on, man.
Oh, my bad.
You were saying they were pushing the
agenda,
Yeah.
the agenda itself. Yeah. So,
Hey man, I thought you was about to take me home there just now, dog. And then you got distracted.
so yeah, so with the agenda portion of things, hold on a minute, because you need to listen to this. This pertains to you. Okay. So with the agenda portion of things now, when you look at it and you say, okay, who came up with the queer portion of it? Who came up with that? Because the queer portion of things is not a black neighborhood, a white neighborhood. It's in every neighborhood.
Mm.
So who came up with throwing that in there? Why we
Yeah.
didn't have that on the Revolutionary War or World War I, II, or all these different things?
Mhm.
Why is it only in black race theory? All right. Why is it only in race theory? So now, moving forward, you get one squashed, and now they okay putting something like this.
Slavery.
And everyone on the board for the Board of Ed unanimously agreed with that. All these educators agree that this right now is a good move. Howie, what you say? What puzzled me is with the blessings of the internet, why do people with kids still rely on the school system for the kids to learn? Facts. You know why? Programming.
Convenience.
Complaciveness. Okay? Because you know why? The iPads and the iPhones and all these things have been teaching these kids nowadays. YouTube has been teaching these kids. AP.
Yeah.
What's good? All right. Got you on the line. Speak your piece.
Yeah, I was just saying, man. Well, peace to y'all, man, for a great show as usual. As far as it goes with education, this is the time that influencers such as yourselves, those that have podcasts, those that have radio shows, and elected officials, as well as any sort of leader, need to come together and fight this.
Facts.
Right? Because if there was any black individual that just made up something that said, the Jewish people should be happy for what the Nazis put them through, because now that they went through what they went through, they're able to control media and control jewelry and control the banks because of the killing of the 6 million Jews and kids that were killed. Or you could say the Cubans should be happy because of all the great stuff that Fidel Castro and Che did that helped propel these great Cubans to where they are. They wouldn't be taking it.
Right.
They wouldn't be taking it. Right now, I'm sure I-95 would be blocked. A whole bunch of other things would be going on. And what's going on for us? Rolling Loud.
Exactly.
What else is really going on? So you really have to look at our leaders and first see and understand that they are not really all leaders.
Right.
That being the first thing. And then the second thing is all the people that you all support. Imagine this, we got the biggest genre of music in the world. And Florida has some of the biggest rappers in the world.
Right.
And some of the most influential. The most influential hip hop person lives in Miami Beach. Right. He just had a great golf tournament yesterday, and this whole weekend is fundraising for We the Best Foundation, for example, right? But all these things can be used to take care of these individuals, because Manny Diaz, who is the chair of education of Florida, is Cuban American. Cuban American, went to FIU, right? Like, so my thing is there needs to be some sort of kind of action because we're just the first stop. They're gonna go after somebody else, because understand, Ron DeSantis 6 years ago was heading this thing called the Tea Party for Florida, and everybody was laughing at him. Oh, Tea Party, let him become a senator, and boom. And you see what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Like, they have a real agenda that they're following. Where's our agenda that we are following through? Whether we're winning or losing, we need to both, like, come on, man. We can't sit and fight upon abortion rights and don't say gay. They in affirmative action. They get us all caught up in these things here, so that we can't think about the other things that are happening and being not even put under the rug. They're putting everything out in front of us, like, oh, go, we dare you to do something. So I challenge y'all, as well as myself, as well as anyone else that is hearing, to get at your leaders and understand you can do it yourself as well, picking up the phone and calling your representatives, whether they're Republican, Independent, or Democrat.
I'm gonna tell you,
Peace, my brother.
Straight up. I reached out to a couple politicians through some connections, and I thought through the connection it would make it somewhat a little bit more easier. I met some of these politicians firsthand and invited them on the show, and I get a lot of runaround. I get a lot of answering machines. I get a lot of "we'll call you back." I get a lot of
anything that could possibly paint their image. They're not gonna
send
do
me
it, man.
the breakdown of what your show is all about. Send me what this is about. Send me that and send me this. And I do all that. I play by the book. I sit down and talk to them and tell them, yo, we're working for the community. We want to make changes. We want to do this. This is not a big platform that we're just working as God's people trying to make changes, man. This is not something where we're out here and trying to be some conglomerate. We're not trying to be the biggest thing. We're not trying to be, listen, if it happened, it happens. But the agenda is not for us to have masses and masses of followers and
just here to educate one person.
That's it. There's no agenda behind what we do. This is just a God situation where it's like, yo, we live in these neighborhoods. We need to make changes. And if we have a platform, let's put our work out there. So a lot of times when we go to these officials, and it puzzles me, and I have to always argue this situation with them every time. They go, well, what's your numbers? What's this? What's that? And I say, what does it matter? They go, well, we just want to know what the numbers are. And you're like, well, what do you need to know that for? Does it make a difference? Like if I had 200,000 or if I had 2, if I'm coming to you, what's the difference? Like I came on foot patrol to come check you. So if I had 200,000 followers, should you be chasing me or should I still be chasing you? And at the end of the day, if I had 200,000 and I'm humbling myself by coming to you and saying, we need to do something, what does it matter still at the end of the day? So because I only have 2, I'm not worthy, is what you're really saying to me. And it's like appalling at the end of the day. And it gets me upset all the time when I have to talk to these people when they keep bringing up this number stuff. And I say, well, what were we doing back in the days when we didn't have numbers? And they can't answer that question. I said, was Malcolm looking for numbers? Was Huey looking for numbers? I don't remember these guys talking about anything about numbers in their speeches. They just came out to try to make changes. And because of them is why we are right now where we are. Unfortunately, some parts of that now is in the toilet. But at the end of the day, I do agree with you. And listen, I'm down to work with you. So if you do have something, bring it to the table. I've taken it upon myself and I've called officials. I've tried to meet up with several. I just don't want to mention a lot of these people's name because these people are, next thing you hear tomorrow, so
trying to close a shop,
but I like they say, we got receipts. You understand? I got text messages, but at the end of the day, it's like you gotta wonder also, like, well, what are you here for? What are you here for? Because right now, like I said, we're dancing way too much. Ice Cube said it before on one of his songs. And he didn't use black people. I'm using black people, but he said black people always got to show their teeth. Okay, so try to remember, the days is a wrap. You don't have to shuck and jive no more. We just need to keep it within our own community, police ourselves. And when you see things like this, put it out there that, yo, we're not standing for it. Take your kids out of that system. Without these kids in the system, they don't have no system. Without the finances out there, they have nothing. But because we keep just going at it and letting them have it, that's what it is. Howie G said, all right, hold on, let me see what Howie said.
That's comical, Howie. That's crazy, man. Oh my goodness.
Bus driver, okay. 1 or 2 months. I'm snapping on kids because I know they not learning nothing, but they got on the bus. I like that.
Hang out, Howie.
Hang tight with that one, Howie. I mean,
don't start knocking none of them out.
But
that never plays well, dog.
Here's the thing with it, and that's what we spoke about earlier about the agenda. Even with that portion of things, Howie, and I don't know what area or the percentage of black kids, white kids, Spanish kids you have on the bus or whatever, but over the years, the respect level in our neighborhood, and again, I can only talk about our neighborhood because I got to deal with home first.
Yeah.
In our neighborhood, the respect level is not being taught in the home anymore. A lot of things are not being taught in the home no more. So now these kids go out to the bus driver and say whatever. Then the mother or father will come and threaten the bus driver for trying to discipline the kid.
Checking their
for
kid.
saying something.
Yeah.
Now that's when you do it vice versa. You check your kid in front of the bus driver and tell him you're going to respect this man every time you come on his bus. I don't care what the rest of them want to do.
Nah, man. Most of these parents are homeboys to their children,
That's the
man.
problem.
Homegirls. They're not. Nah, man. Nah, player. That's not it, man.
So AP.
Yes, sir.
You know how it is with me and you. So I'm telling you right now, I'm down with it. I'll chop it up with you on the side, and let's see if we can start getting something moving. Cause this is destructive path right here. If you're gonna try to teach kids, and especially think about this now. And I had a discussion. It's so funny this happened because I had a discussion with a good friend of mine, co-worker, about the same thing. A white gentleman, good guy. Shout out to Cam and Kelsey and them, because we always have these discussions as grown men.
Yeah.
And I said, the only way I think white America will understand the severity of everything that has been done, we have to have 100 years of reverse slavery. 100, and I'm being nice. I said 100 years. Think about it now. Let's put it into.
That's what they're afraid of, bro.
Okay.
That's what they're afraid of.
Let's just do it.
Go
ahead.
I mean, just think about it, man. I believe that they're thinking in their mind, at any day now, these people are going to revolt against us. They're going to take arms, kill us, harm us, and get back at us for everything that our ancestors did. That's why they're always afraid, because as they see the numbers start creeping up, start equalizing, but there's still no action, because every time there's something that is about to start happening, just like during the pandemic, the George Floyd time, and things started changing, people started reading books and getting aware, and they started having white kids asking their parents and their grandparents, like, why did great-grandpa do this and that? And next thing you know, CRT is a big problem, this and that. When CRT wasn't in any school other than a law school college class.
Yeah.
That's what CRT was being taught. Not in any high school, not in any elementary school. But the narrative is what had made it go that way. So while everybody's getting caught up in everything else, you know, hey, and you know, basketball players are making $260 million for 5 years, like on average. Football players are making more money than they've ever made. Baseball players are making more money than they've ever made. So it's like they're appeasing the group of the people that they need to, that can speak out, that spoke out during the pandemic. They paid all these people, so they won't say nothing right now. Because if they say something, it's going to affect the bottom line and their money.
Right.
So until we're able to get at those individuals and use those individuals to speak to the politicians, sad to say, nothing will change until there's a group that comes together. because individually we're not going to be able to do it.
Right.
Period. Nothing will happen individually.
No,
The only thing that will happen is when we come together to understand the Haitian Revolution. The only time that blacks have beat whites in history has been the Haitian Revolution.
Funny you
That
mentioned that.
brought freedom to people, right? And they've been making Haiti pay for it ever since.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned that. Funny you mentioned that because I just learned the other day that, and to the point that you brought up with the Titanic, it was actually a black family on the Titanic.
Haitian family.
A Haitian family, exactly.
Haitian family.
You understand? So
yeah. That went back and saved some of the white people.
That's not being told, right?
You would never hear it.
Yeah.
Right.
He went back and left his family to go save some white people and died while they were coming back on the boat.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing about it. So now you're telling me that you want to whitewash this. You don't want anyone to know those things. Why? Well, I mean, like, tell me now.
It makes us humane. It makes us humane.
Okay.
It makes us humane,
Like
and it makes us
people. Yeah, it's like, oh man.
Yeah, and then that also means that we're smart. Because I'll tell you this one last thing, right? So you see a lynching, right? How everyone's afraid of white people lynching black people. Do you know that lynching was a learned behavior that the whites learned from Haitians that they had come fight against the British in Louisiana? Because understand, the Haitians fought against the French with rocks, machetes, and rope. That's it. So as they would find the captors, the Frenchmen, they would tie them up, boom, and string them up. So when the Haitians came over here to fight for the first Civil War, right, they taught the white individuals here how to string up the British. And then what happens later on, they end up using that against the slaves.
That's crazy, man.
You just educated me on, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, man. Wow.
Just educated me on. Yeah. But here's the thing with it now. So now, when you have all these entertainers that are out there, and like you said, let's start with Florida since we live here. All the entertainers and all the social media influencers and all these different things, like you stated, unfortunately, white America, they programmed us so they know us. And they know that the bag, no one's trying to disrupt their bag to stand up for anything at this point. So it comes down to you and I to do what we have to do here, because I'm used to bully beef. I don't know if everybody know bully beef, but I always bring this up in this thing in AP. I'm gonna tell you right now, the bully beef theory is exactly that. The bully beef theory is, if you leave from bully beef and you go to caviar, majority of the people that are starting to eat caviar, you have them in your full control, because when they have to look back and see bully beef in the rear and caviar in the front, a lot of them are not going to do anything to disrupt anything by going to the rear. And that's the main problem. You understand? That's the main problem right here. So I myself, I know for me, my son, he just graduated, but if he was still in school, I'd be the first one. I would have to take my time out to go there and tell him I don't want him in that particular class. When that class come, let him walk out. I'll teach him what he needed to learn on that history. And if it's something where you're not giving him credits and all these things, I'll find some other way.
Yeah.
If it's homeschooling, I'll pay for him to get the homeschooling, and then he'll send that in. But that, I'm not dealing with that. And if more parents do the same thing, they have no choice but now to review this whole situation. But because they put it out there and everyone's just like, okay, well, school starts next week and, you got to go. I'm not taking time off from work for any of this stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they know. They know us. To just erase Rosewood alone. I was living in New York when I saw Rosewood. I wasn't even in Florida yet. Okay, and Rosewood, like I explained to man this earlier, when I saw Rosewood, I was still young. I was in like high school or something like that. But when I went to work, and man, no white person could talk to me that day. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's like the manager's like, hey, I need you. Hey man, don't say nothing to me, man. You know, and he's like, he's like, what's wrong with you? I thought we was cool. I'm like, nah, we ain't cool. You know, and you like, yo, man, matter of fact, don't even talk to me for like a week. You know, just to see the injustice. Now it's not like we didn't know it.
Oh yeah.
It's not like we didn't know it, but now we're not reading it in a book. We're actually seeing it on a film. And you seeing someone say, this guy raped me, this guy did that, and this guy did this, and to see a whole town wiped out. You're talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma. You're talking about Black Wall Street. That had everything. You know what it was for white America to look over there and see blacks on their own private airplane in 1921's 1920? Had their own bank, own shops, own airplanes, private airplanes. They're pilots themselves.
Oh, yes.
And then all they had to do was just to say, oh, let's get rid of them. Let's bomb this place.
That's crazy.
And then for now, you don't want
People
your kids
about
to
it?
understand that because you don't want your kids to feel uncomfortable. Because that's what this whole thing boils down
Did y'all
to.
get a chance to hear?
Go ahead.
A chance to hear Senator Rand Paul last week what he said in reference to what he does. All this concern and so happy that it's gone because individuals making money, but I don't want people to be able to make money extensively like they're making because they're driving around here. And I went to Atlanta, and they're driving Bentleys and driving Ferraris and all this type of stuff. And they're rappers. This shouldn't be going on. Like,
are you serious?
Oh yeah, I'm dead set. Just after this, just look up Rand Paul or Paul, Senator Paul.
Yeah.
Republican.
Oh man.
His dad was elected. He's the one that's a doctor that said once that Jewish people were inferior. It's just a bunch of craziness. But they're watching what we're doing.
Oh yeah.
Like, to understand, their kids are emulating our entertainers more than anything. I was driving around the stadium like about an hour and a half ago. Yo, there's 75% of the people there are white.
White, yeah.
Walking through Miami Gardens like they own Miami Gardens.
Right? Like it's nothing.
They ain't worried about nothing.
Nothing.
They ain't worried about nothing, bro.
Nada.
Like, what?
Nada.
It's the same way white people walking around Little Haiti like it's nothing. Man, 11 years ago,
couldn't do
Joe
that.
Pound.
What?
Nah.
Nope.
Yo.
Nah. But it's kind of like they castrate some of the certain leaders, some of the certain entertainers, so that they are not going to take a stand. Because I understand what that Papa is saying in Miami is a Palestinian.
Right.
Yep.
Palestinian. So imagine a Palestinian saying all that, right? It would make a difference.
Right.
Make a difference, but it would disrupt their money.
Right.
But yeah.
But you see, that's
appreciate y'all, man.
Nah, appreciate you, family. Yo,
you
know you got to get back on this. You got to get back on this because there's a lot of topics like these that we going to join forces and get you in on these because I know you're educated heavy on these things as well.
I'm always listening, man. I'm always
Well,
listening.
you know you got the number, homie, so
People
you
need
can
to see
always
that
call
rematch
in.
between you and Black Republican too, man. So, just so you know.
Yeah.
We can't have y'all on our rap battles now. Not with the Republican talk. But.
Hey, here's one point I want to make before you bounce real quick.
Yeah.
And in closing, I want to tell blacks, I was about to say Black America, but blacks in general, be careful of who you look for leadership, who you crown as your
role
models, and different things of that nature. And that goes for from these young girls listening to certain individuals, these young guys listen to certain individuals, because when we look at it from like Raekwon said, seen it like a zenith. You're starting to see the whole agenda on a wide scale, on a big screen, like you've never seen it before. The rappers come out now, they tell you, I'm from poverty. This is what I'm talking about. We're not talking about the 90s rap, early 2000s. We're talking about today's. They're telling you, I'm from this, I'm from that. A lot of them are really not. Okay. They get these kids into certain situations in life, and a lot of them don't live in your neighborhood. A lot of them are not from your neighborhood. A lot of them, even if they were, they're gone now. And a lot of these executives, they promote it. The executives out there know the destructive manner in which these music, it controls the mind. I don't know how people could argue this a million times when people say, "Oh, I'm not a role model, and the music don't control." The music controls people. The music controls people.
It's a huge influence.
You have to be crazy if you think that you don't get an emotional charge out of certain music. It can calm you. It can amp you.
Agitate.
It can make you want to love. It can make you want to hate. I don't know how you can say that. So when these record executives out there know that they live in the hills, and they have these young kids that they're signing to these labels that live in the gutter, but these kids are trying to make it to the hill, and these kids will sell their soul and their whole neighborhood out just so that they can get up there. These executives look for them. They're not looking for the people like me and you that are going to sit here and say to them, well, what's the real agenda behind this? They don't want you asking questions. They want you as dumb as possible so that they can have you and mold you and press you and push you out there as a Trojan horse. And because of that, now we're seeing these things. These young girls are willing to sell themselves for a Prada bag. These young dudes now is willing to shoot their brother in the head and then rap about it. Probably even put a video out with the body sitting next to them. Then when they get locked up, they ask you, what happened? Is you looking like, what are you talking about? And some of these rappers from the old days, and point being right now, I'm gonna just say it, Jay-Z was one. When you were putting out narratives about do what you want to do, smoke what you want to smoke, these young kids don't realize a lot of these rappers, they ain't smoking no more. They're eating good. They got chefs. They eating lean. They exercising. They're not promoting that. They telling you go drink alcohol all day, smoke weed, and just do what you got to do. But they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Because the masses above them, the masters, the puppet masters, are stringing them and telling them, this is what I need you to do. And they go, for sure.
This is what sells, so run that narrative. Yeah.
And then now, 20 years later, you're trying to educate these kids now by telling them, don't buy rims. You was talking about Range Rovers, 4.0, 4.6.
Cuban.
You was talking about hustling. You was talking about all these. I got chains that is straight clear, no clouds in it, and blah, blah. Now you telling these young kids, you stupid for buying rims. You stupid for buying this. Buy paintings. It appreciates. Dumbo. Dumbo? You know what I'm saying? Like, you created the Dumbos. And now you want to tell me do different? Be careful who you look up to. Look up to your parents, your uncle, that uncle that's a doctor, that uncle that's a lawyer, that aunt that's an Indian chief, the one that's a nurse. It might not be that glorifying situation, but at the end of the day, they're not out here robbing and stealing from nobody. You understand? The morality portion of things is in the toilet. This little young one here, I try and train him as much as possible to let him know what is right from wrong out here in the world, because there's too much. I try to train my son the same way. You know right from wrong at the end of the day. So for us here at the barbershop,
John.
Yeah, fam.
Now, as you're talking about that, right? Principles and everything, right? So this weekend in Rolling Loud, you're gonna have an individual that's gonna bring 6ix9ine out, and make him credible and everything. He got $1 million check.
Yeah.
He got $1 million check. So that goes to show you that's exactly what we're talking about. They gave him the bag to go against his morals and the principles of everybody that's around him, his management, everybody that's connected to him, everybody that's connected to the word Zoe, Z-O-E. That's more than just Haitian, right? That means something, especially if you come from Miami with the whole Zoe pound and everything. There's principles to it. But as you break down those things and say, oh man, they don't got nothing to do with me, man. I'm just out here making the money. That's what I was trying to say last week when y'all was talking about, Kodak Black, he's saying something, saying what? Saying what now? That you could forgo everything and go ahead and just work with this individual, right? And I'm not like OG in the street, none of that, nah. But come on now.
It's not that.
Come on now. It's watering down this thing of ours to make it look like a real joke.
Because again, in situations like this, let's bring it up, the Kodaks, and all these other influential people that are out here. You said there was a golfing tournament this weekend. You can imagine how many people was out there today. But not one of these people who's talking about this situation right now. You know why? Because it don't concern them. A lot of them got their kids in private school, or they could do whatever they have because the finances control the odds out here. The finances. That's why it always goes back to the finance, man. I tell people all the time, you can have $1 million idea. If you don't have that $1 million backing, it's just an idea at the end of the day. That's where the problem comes in. We don't pull resources. And look at little Haiti before we bounce. You and I know how it was back in the days.
Not riding through there now. No.
Right through there. Last time I rode through there, I'm like, I must have made a wrong turn. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing shops and I'm like, whoa.
What is this? Yeah.
But the problem with it, they have put it in us to not appreciate where you are, and you don't look at the canvas as if you could make this into, I don't even want to say Mona Lisa, but
considering where it came from.
I know AP could give me a more famous black painting, but right now, let's use that.
Basquiat.
All right, there you go. We'll go with that one, right? We don't understand that. I don't know how to pronounce that. You don't have to say it again, but
Basquiat, that's who they say Jay-Z trying to look like.
Basquiat. Okay. I didn't hear him. But but at the end of the day, because we didn't look at it in that manner, we didn't look at the neighborhood where we came from that was of value. Here comes the others. And now we have this situation where buy low, sell high. Right back to you in your own neighborhood. Put a few paint on your own houses instead of having someone come in and regentrify your situation and sell it back to you for more money than when you had it all this time. But because they have put it in you that this is not nothing. The rims and the car that you park in front of the house, that gets you the girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can live in the basement, but make sure you got a Jaguar outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, doing the math backwards, hustling wrong. But they already put the seeds in you to understand that I don't care about that. As long as I have that, I'm good. I could be in debt. It doesn't matter. I got all the girls. I got this. I got the shine. I got everything. Then when you get locked up, you lose it all.
Yeah.
And then you come back now, you can't even live in this neighborhood because it costs too much.
Yeah.
You don't have the proper job because you can't get a job because you've been locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Repeated situation. You know what I'm saying? But we'll touch on this a lot more. There's more of this to come. More of this to come, man. Brother, I appreciate you. You know,
All day.
You sit high on the totem pole for me.
It's all love, AP.
You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate y'all brothers, man.
All day.
Keep doing it. Keep going.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Be safe out here, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Check us out on all the platforms once again. Every Friday, live at the barbershop. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight.
So
please.
chill.
Yeah, So Chill as always, man. So Chill's family. You already know that. Howie G, what up? Khalil on the West Coast. Big Shug up in GA. Plus.
Oh yeah.
Maria, Cali out in Cali. Katie out in Oakland.
Still got to give Q some love, even though he was
Houston,
Big Shirley right now. I mean, you're a business player.
Big Q. You know what I'm saying? Black Republican. The whole crew, man. The whole crew as always, man. Man, do your due diligence at this point, man. Team up with us, man, if need be. Let's put this together. If we gotta sign petitions, go to the politicians as a group. But like I said, it's in numbers, man. Numbers. Circle of brotherhood, man. If you out there and you listening, let's make this happen. Let's make this happen. All right. So once again, please don't sit down on the couch. As always, I'm telling you, please go out in the world and be somebody, do something, make changes in your neighborhood. It's not about the numbers. It's about the numbers that you end up changing. Change the narrative in our neighborhoods, man.
Interdependence, not independent.
Yeah, it is.
We'll get there.
Gracias.
Oh man. Be safe, y'all.
We out.
All right, man. One love, y'all.
Go out in the world and be somebody.